Hey folks, April Reigne. I want to show you at least the highlights of today's congressional hearing. It's not being covered that much in the news, and it should be because this has been going on. It's been an issue for 5 years. And they are just now, they being Wells Fargo, they're just now getting around to apologizing and kind of, sort of, but I get the feeling not really remedying the situation. So I've taken the highlights of it from today's hearing, which is September 29th. Enjoy.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Himes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Stumpf, we've focused a lot today on accountability. I want to go back to something that, like Congressman Lucas's concerns, troubles me, which is kind of the focus on culture and the materiality of what happened here. We're hearing that there's not a problem with the culture, and you're hearing an awful lot of disagreement up here. And we're hearing, certainly in the Senate hearing, that this wasn't material. And I guess if you sort of exquisitely, finely define materiality, the way maybe the SEC defines it, maybe $185 million in fines is not material. But this is about much more than a legal definition of materiality. And we need to hear you say that you understand the magnitude of what has occurred here. It's more than $185 million. It's about the trust and the faith and the belief in the system. It's not about the ups and downs of one company. It's about people's faith in the banking system. It's about their faith in the market economy. It's about whether competition is perceived as a good thing by the American public or a bad thing. This is really about people's faith in organizations like yours and like the one that you're testifying with in front of today. But let me start with the numbers quickly here. What matters to an investor, of course, is the value of the company they own. And your shareholders have already paid out $185 million, including, by the way, the state of Connecticut's pension funds. Mr. Stumpf, do you know what the market cap, the value of your company is today?
I didn't look this morning, but I think it's a 220 or 230 billion.
$228 billion. On September 7th, when this all started, it was $253 billion, and there's been no other material impact. So just this event has cut $25 billion off of the value of Wells Fargo. That's a big number. Do you know what the value of Ford Motor Company is, Mr. Stumpf?
I do not follow Ford.
$50 billion. So just since the 7th, you have, and your organization and the culture have obliterated a full half of a Ford Motor Company. That has to be material, doesn't it?
Congressman, I take this as much more than the $185 million. I don't want to diminish this. I am deeply sorry that we didn't do the right thing, and I understand that re-earning the trust of our customer and the American people is going to be our biggest challenge.
Again, I'm troubled by this whole culture thing. Are intangible things like Wells Fargo's reputation and brand an important part of the company's value?
There's no question. I think the most important...
So yes, the answer is yes. Do you think that Wells Fargo's reputation has been damaged in a material way by this?
I think there's been damage, yes.
Okay. What I worry about is bigger than Wells Fargo. It's the fact that the system comes apart if people don't have faith and trust. Mr. Stumpf, can you see what I'm holding up right here? It's a $1. It's a $1 bill. It's the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
It's a piece of paper with some green ink on it.
Yes.
Does this thing have any intrinsic value? Can I eat it if I'm hungry? Can I use it to cut wood if I?
No.
Does it have any intrinsic value at all?
It represents a promise.
It's a promise.
Yes.
So it relies on the faith and the belief in the American people that this has some value. Otherwise, it's a piece of paper with green ink on it. Is that not correct?
I totally agree with you,
And can I not expand that point to the banking system? If Americans really started getting anxious about the fact that you don't have enough money in your banks on any given day to cover their deposits, we'd have a problem, wouldn't we?
There's no question about that.
And the only thing standing between us and this meeting being meaningless and between them believing that the banking system doesn't work is trust and faith in the fact that it does.
Congressman, you are absolutely right. Trust is the absolute critical element here, and we have a lot of work to do to work on that.
So your investors are equity investors. They accept risk, including the possibility that something like this could happen. If you don't want this kind of risk, you buy bonds or treasuries or whatever it is. I would implore you, as somebody who I think understands that the market economy is important and that the financial services industry is important, I would implore you to please don't continue to focus on this idea that this is not material. I think we're now agreeing that it is material.
I've never said that.
And please work with your colleagues to repair some of the damage that has been done to the faith and the trust that we both here today have acknowledged is the only underpinning of the system that has done so well by you, sir.